The question now is that the amendment be agreed to. I give the call to the member for Tangi.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. This bill addresses a serious anomaly that Labor tried to hide and talk around for 6 years. That is the unfair, non-indexed retirement benefit situation constraining our aged veterans. Fair indexation is something that I've personally championed for many years, including in the party room during my first term in the Howard government. Labor broke its 2007 election promise to fix the issue of military superannuation indexation. Labor lost its way on reform of military superannuation. In 2007, Labor promised to release the findings of the previous coalition government's review into military superannuation arrangements, otherwise known as the Podger Review. Labor's release of the Podger Review was seen by Labor as the end of their commitment to reform. Their consultation produced no outcomes. Labor's wasteful and reckless spending in so many other areas left them unable to meet their commitment of 2007 to prevent further erosion of veterans' pensions due to unfair indexation. After spending so much money on pink bats, green loans and the failed BER school halls program, Labor was unable and unwilling to find the funds necessary to meet their commitment to veterans about military superannuation reform. It is very easy to talk of nominal increases or gross increases or even annual increases. Viewed in a vacuum, all of the above are very helpful and welcome for veterans. However, life doesn't operate in a vacuum, and any increase must be viewed in the context of the rising cost of living pressures and the threat of relative deprivation. The key question is my quality of life at least as good as it was last year? The question then becomes, what is the real increase or net gain? However, I will not indulge the members opposite with the basics of an economics education. Suffice to say that when costs of inflation are taken away and the relative increase in purchasing power is factored in, the unfair CPI fat lady is very much exposed. Labor lies can never hide the truth that the previous Labor government never prioritised the military or defence personnel in any way. If it was so, how could they cut defence spending back to levels last seen in 1938, when measured in percentage of GDP terms? The coalition listens to expert advice and acts. The original DFRDB scheme contained a wage-based indexation element which was removed in the mid-1970s when the government decided to apply the CPI to a wide range of social security and superannuation pensions. In recent years, the government has changed indexation arrangements for social security pensions to include a wage-based component. CPI indexation does not maintain relativity with community incomes. As the federal member for the seat of Tangi in Western Australia, this aspect is of particular concern to my constituents. The effects of the mining industry in WA are far and away positive. However, one significant drawback is in the area of a two-speed economy on wage growth. The bill is good for WA and especially good for veterans and defence personnel in my electorate of Tangi. Labor have been saying since 2011 that CPI is not a good measure and that the current system is broken. Yet, typical of Labor, they saw a problem but were incapable of fixing it. Not only that, but like the budget, not only did they not fix it, they actually made it worse. In 2010, the coalition promised fair indexation. Before the 2013 federal election, this commitment was restated. And from 1 July 2014, 57,000 DFRB and DFRDB superannuants aged 55 and over will have their benefits indexed in line with age and service pension. As promised, the fair indexation provisions will also extend to reversionary pensioners aged 55 and over. The government has long recognised the unique nature of military service and the sacrifices military personnel and their families make on behalf of all Australians. In sum, it comes down to real versus nominal, trickery versus delivery, Liberal versus Labor.
I thank the member for Tang.